Perfect. The meeting is being recorded. You guys can start whenever you so feel.
Okay, thank you.
course.
As a preliminary matter, this is Rob Benchley, permitted to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present can hear me. When I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Clement Durkis,
Yes.
Angus McLeod.
Here.
I don't know if Mary Will is here. Don't know.
She is
Okay.
not currently.
Well, Rob Benchley is here, so we have a quorum. Good morning. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Sconset Advisory Board is being conducted remotely, consistent with the Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, we have been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in publicly accessible physical location. Further, all members of public bodies are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order, which you can find posted with the meeting materials, allows bodies to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so the public can follow along. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will feature public comment. For this meeting, the Sconset Advisory Board is convening by video conference via Zoom app posted on the town's website. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. All supporting materials that have been provided members of the body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda. Now, turning to the first item of the agenda, before we do so, permit me to cover some ground rules. I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. When they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each name to provide comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. And remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in conversation with the members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. After members have spoken, the chair will forward public comment to those members of the public who have joined via Zoom meeting. Each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. And having said that, I'll take a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion made, seconded, and it's unanimous. First order of business is number 10 Hydrangea Lane, lot 5, for a new dwelling.
So Matt McEachern from Emeritus is here. So if you guys wanted to go right to 3 Grand Ave, I think that would make sense. Just
That would be fine.
So Angus, you'll of course want to click that link and then hit share screen.
Thanks. So I hit the share screen, but I've got like 7 different options.
So click on the one that shows the 3 Grand Ave links, like if you already have that screen open. Because essentially when you share screen, it just has all the different tabs as windows. So you want to click on the tab that you want to share.
Are you seeing the, are you seeing that?
Not
No.
yet.
I have the application up, but
You're not using 2 screens, are you?
I think I'm only using one.
Okay. Let's see. Since I'm here, I might as well just do it this time around, and we'll figure this out as we go. Okay.
Thanks, Kadeem.
No problem at all, guys. So let me get this started here. It is going to be this screen. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, Matt, are you there and present? Oh, he's logged in.
I am. Yep. Kadeem.
Perfect. All right. Well, you guys just tell me where you want me to go, and I will be driving. So this is the app.
I can walk. I mean, do you want to give me a brief? I can give a brief presentation if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
please go ahead.
Cool. So this is an addition to 3 Grand Ave. I'm sure you're familiar with the site and the location of the structure. Just doing some based on the available historic documentation, this structure is supposed to be formerly part of the Ocean View Hotel, and it was which a portion of this of the hotel, which this is, was relocated from an adjacent parcel. So basically, we're not planning to lift the building or move it, or do any significant additions, to the building footprint, but more kind of clean up what's there, try to get a more cohesive, architectural language where we can. And we are proposing to basically add some dormers and a roof walk. Bless you. There was a roof walk that was previously approved a few times actually in the past. There is some historic documentation that we've provided. It's, again, the building's not entirely recognizable from what we from its original inception. It previously had a cross gable on the what we're now calling the east and the west elevations, and had a lot more ornamentation on it in its original incarnation when it was part of the Ocean View Hotel. There's some great photographs online of it. We just included some pictures from Lancaster, but yeah, you may want to scroll down to maybe like the last. Yeah, there you go. There, that's a great shot. So you can see the cross gable, the wraparound porch with the ornate, post detail. Again, we can't really figure out why or what the story was with the omission of the the flush gable on both what we're now calling the east and the west elevations. I just don't, a lot of times I can see elements, the wraparound porch going away when it was moved, and but the removal of a cross gable, it seems like a fairly invasive change, but we don't really have any documentation in terms of when that occurred. We do know that this portion of the hotel was moved based on the Sanborn map of 1909. Between 1909 and 1923 is when you see the move, if you will. So it had to have occurred between those 2 years. So with that, we can go back to the elevations. Kadeen, that might be helpful just to kind of identify where we're looking to make some additions and changes. Okay, so east elevation is probably the most predominant. I guess we'll start at the roof. So obviously we're looking to add a roof walk. Again, this roof walk was approved and it was renewed, I think, at least 2 or 3 times. We're proposing to add 2 shed dormers on the either side of the existing shed, just as complementary dormers. They're smaller in scale and size, and the fenestration is as well. I think it actually adds a little bit to the overall composition. The second floor deck is, I think currently it measures about 20, somewhere in the range of like 24 to like 26 inches the railing is. And so obviously that doesn't meet the building code. And so our proposal here was to raise it to the 36-inch requirement, and then maintain the same detail, just raise it. And then also in terms of the vertical baluster detail, to emulate some of the cross buck detailing that we had found in other parts of the structure and historic photos. The fenestration of that deck, if you compare it to the existing fenestration, it's a little imbalanced, and so we wanted to just kind of make it a little bit more consistent. Same thing on the first floor. I think that we are changing actually the light configuration of the doors on the left and right. Ironically enough, that center 6-panel door is basically a fake door. There's a wall partition that falls right in the middle of that door. The door on the left actually is the door that you would enter into the primary hall and the stair. And we didn't want to change that. There currently is a false door there now. And so we just didn't want to change that. It's quirky, but it works. And we are, again, one of our goals here is to just try to provide some balance and really kind of clean up the structure as best we can. We're adding a mudroom door in that center, or changing that door on the connector piece on the right side of the east elevation. We're also proposing to change the bracket and post detail for the second floor, balcony over those garage doors. That is an existing detail, meaning that there is a bracketed roof above the existing garage doors. We're simply detailing out the bracket and the post and rail system so that, again, it's more cohesive with the main mass of the house. If we could scroll down, Kadeem, I can show some of the other changes on the elevations. We are rebuilding that front porch and post. We are keeping the existing post details. There's a little bit of a challenge here because we know what the original building's detailing was, and it's fairly different than what it is today or after its move. So in some ways, we're trying to retain as much of the existing structure, even though it's not historically accurate compared to its inception. But we're trying to basically be consistent with what's there now. So anywhere we had an opportunity where we didn't want to redefine anything in terms of the structure in its current incarnation. So we made, wherever we needed to make changes, we've done that. One of these elements that I'm suggesting is that these posts right now are about 2 inches narrower, and we kept the detailing on the top of the post. But we did change the width of the post to a 5.5 inch from a 3.5 inch. And the reason being is that the detailing just looked undersized. So we thought that was an improvement. We can continue to scroll down. This is a rear elevation. Again, visibility on this side I don't think is significant, but we are making some second floor window changes. We are adding a higher concentration of fenestration on the left side of the west elevation. Again, I just don't think that this is going to be visible from really anywhere publicly, even if it was, again, because it's the back of the building. I don't think it's that problematic. There's also about a 24 to 30 inch retaining wall on the back side of the building, so that the building is kind of sunk down. The left side of the building here, we are proposing to add this walkout stair. We're hoping to convert the area above the garage. Right now it is a bit of it's kind of a studio, but we want to be able to have that function as somewhat of a guest structure for either caretaker or nanny or maybe like a sailing coach, I've heard. So, but what that wants to kind of function as its own space, if you will. And so that's why it's got the exterior stairs. If we could scroll down to the next elevation, that'd be great. Oh, there it is. Okay, so north elevation, this is the right side of the building. We changed the existing fenestration. This shed dormer is there now. We just are relocating windows. But one element in terms of an addition we are making is currently the first floor of the garage is here. But you can see that we've clouded the second floor portion of this. So this is an addition on the second floor. So right now this is enclosed space under a deck. And in order to get our second means of egress door, which is basically on the south face of this addition, we are adding this kind of extension of the garage, if you will. There is a corner board and there is a break. So, and then the stairs are around the back of the building. We had initially thought about having the stairs run up the side of the building for a couple of reasons. We put it around the back, which I think actually is better because they're just completely hidden. I think those are all the elevations. So that's all I have.
Thank you. It's Rob. I just have a question on the exterior stairway on the west elevation. I don't see where that, I'm just curious to know where that, oh, right, I see it. Now I see it. Okay. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All set.
Cool.
I thought it was on the main mass of the house from looking at one of the north and south elevation. Okay, great.
And I think we have some perspectives in that packet that Kadeem, I don't know, like one of the earlier sheets. Yeah, there you go, sheet 10.
All right. Oh, okay. Ooh. All right, how's
I
that?
think the ones that show the front elevation, yeah, the north upper left-hand corner, just to give you a second. Just try to basically clean it up, keep a lot of the existing details, and and celebrate the structure. And there's some really beautiful photographs, crazy from. There's also the Ocean View Annex. I don't know if anyone's ever seen those photographs.
Yes, they're quite something.
Oh,
I think they're further down on that.
These guys?
it's kind of hard to see. I'll get some better ones. There was an outbuilding that was part of the hotel that was called the Annex, and it was 4 stories tall, and ornate, and really
It was a
pretty well.
beast.
Yeah, I'll collect those, and I'll shoot them out to everyone. Just not part of any submission. Just we'll make it part of the submission, but I think everybody would find them really interesting. I did.
Got it.
It's a separate building.
This is Rob. My initial thoughts on this were, I like the way this sort of goes with the other former hotels in Sconset, the Atlantic House being one of them, and also the Sconset Inn, also known as now the Summer House,
Mhm.
where they've put dormers back on according to the original construction. And I think that this kind of acknowledges that 1880s history of Sconset, with it leaning back towards looking like an old hotel. So those are my thoughts. Anybody else?
Well, this is Clement. I'll just pipe in and say, I don't like the Widow's Walk. It just bulks everything up to me, but I like the extra dormers. I like the 3 dormers. I like the porches, back stairs, all that looks fine. I just don't, I know you said it's been approved 3 times or whatever, but it just masses it up to me, the Widow's Walk.
Thank you, Clement. Actually, I forgot to say that too. But anyway, it's
This is Angus. There's a lot going on here. Seeing the old photos, it really makes me want to see the old building. Matt, did you guys consider doing a flush gable for that top floor as there once was?
We didn't. I mean, we talked about it, but our position was, or the thought process was, that though it did exist historically, at some point, probably in the 20s, or shortly thereafter, this gable went in its place, and that we just took the approach that that's what it is now, and let's kind of play off of that. So we did talk about it. We didn't really talk about actually adding it back, because we thought that would be more invasive, than this approach. And the other thing is, I don't know, I'm just out of curiosity, I love everyone's thoughts about why, assuming that the removal of that cross gable was done somewhere, 1920s, that's a fairly significant undertaking, to do it on the front and the back of the building, because that's basically where it was. And so what would the rationale be behind that in terms of like costs and scale? I don't know. I mean, is a shed dormer more, does it provide more square footage inside the building? Probably, compared to the cross gable. So anyways, very long-winded way of answering that question, Angus. I apologize.
No worries. It's nice to hear the thought process behind it. Seeing that cross gable, it just lessens the stacking, the layering, because it feels like there's like a four-layer cake, all 3 floors, and then the roof walk above. It's a lot of horizontal lines, and seeing that getting broken up with the center gable, I thought was good, which also I think would facilitate the flanking shed dormers a little bit better, rather than it just feeling like, a roof a whole roof plane of shed dormers.
Mhm.
I appreciate the thought about saving the new middle dormer, but it's always looked kind of funny there.
Mhm.
Generally, I think we try to avoid the roof walks getting stacked on dormers.
Mhm.
And again, I think, that might sit nicer on a gable rather than a shed.
Mhm.
Um,
I can run it by everybody and see. Again, I think their approach was to try and be as minimally invasive as possible. And then the good news is too is all the the main, essentially the layout on the inside of the structure for the most part is staying intact. It's not going to be a complete, we're not blowing out every partition. A lot of the existing partition divisions in terms of the first floor layout will stay intact. The first floor stair, the main staircase, stair to the third floor. So a lot of it is staying intact. There are a couple of key areas where we are, pushing and pulling. But so and the reason I say that is that part of that, it lends itself to that existing third floor composition, if you will. So, but I could certainly, float the idea.
yeah, I guess, with the amount of work that's going to go on, just looking at the facade in the east elevation, there's a fair amount going on, even on the third floor with the roof getting cut out for the dormers.
Mhm.
And then the change of the windows and the add of the roof walk. It just, I think that would help make it a little bit more cohesive than just the layering of more of the same. The stair in the back, I would rather it be more integrated. I understand that there's, less visibility there. So that's not as important. I don't know, once you see those old photos, it's exciting to think about it going back to an
Yeah.
earlier look, not necessarily with all the gingerbread on it, but just the general lines of it. They something that is the volumes that it looks like now without all the gingerbread. There probably would have been 6/6 windows or some other different kind of configuration. The 2/2s relate more to that Victorian era with all the trimmings, and to see the sort of the pared down spare with the 2/2s is a little bit of a,
Mhm.
feel like they're two different themes going.
Mhm.
Contrary to most contemporary buildings, the posts, the older posts were, by today's standards considered spindly because they were 4x4s as opposed to 6x6s or 8x8s or 10x10s.
Mhm.
So I would push for keeping those, the smaller scale that they once were.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm with you. Yeah, I mean, I didn't go 8x8 or 10x10. It was just, and I think it's more of a function of the way that they detailed them. They removed the more, kind of Victorian gingerbread post cap brackets, if you will, and then they added these kind of, it's like a more of a blocky cap, and the proportional relationship between the thinness of the post and the capital detail that they applied, just, it looks really kind of strange. Like I agree with you. I think that some of the more the historic examples where it is a 4x4 are usually executed in proportion perfectly because they were just done in one shot, if you will. Whereas these, if you look at the existing photos, you'll see. But anyways, yeah, definitely can consider that, changing it. I just don't know if I'd pull back the capital detailing on that, Angus, is my thought, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think in general, I would just go with a the theme that you're able to express the fullest.
Mhm.
It seems like there's a little bit of a buckshot
Approach.
approach. But that's what I've got for now.
Great, thanks, Angus.
Oh.
I
Okay.
think Mary joined.
It looks like she did.
Very nice.
I think she's muted.
Hi, Mary is here. Unfortunately, I only just got Kadim's notice that he was starting on my email, and now I have to go. So I'm sorry about that, but let's hope we have no technical difficulties next week.
Right.
Thanks, Mary.
Thanks,
Sorry.
Mary.
Thank you.
Bye.
Go.
So are we done with Matt? Sorry, I missed that one.
This is Rob. I believe we are, Matt. Thank you very much.
You got it. Can I actually, can I share my screen for 2 seconds just to show you some of those pictures?
Absolutely. I'm going to stop sharing mine. Go for it, Matt.
Screen one. Hold on 1 sec. Two. All right. So this is the annex.
Oh, wow.
So this is the, the building with the cross gables, and this section of the hotel existed first. I'm trying to get, no, let me just scroll through.
There it is.
No. Anyways, yeah. I'll send you guys out, Lord. Like there's the higher resolution pictures, but this was, yeah, they called this the annex, and you can actually see the hotel somewhere over here, but it's just fascinating to me. And then I will definitely get you, there's some higher res images, but the railing detail first, second to third floor changes significantly. There's so much, like the Dutch hip, the projection of this room, there's just fascinating to me in terms of the scale and the high level of ornamentation. And this was such a predominant part of Sconset. It's in some part of history. And I think that if you ask most people today if this would be appropriate, they'd probably clutch their pearls,
Okay.
So
Yeah, and it's funny, you see a lot of some of those particular details. You see those all up and down the older houses on Baxter Road facing the water.
yeah, it's pretty the variation, the second floor railing detail on this one was it's I don't know, I'm always surprised and impressed with those details. So anyways, not to distract you, but I will
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I'll get there's a whole collection of like higher res images I just found recently, so I'll collect those and shoot them over to you.
It's reminding me of the 5 or 6 story hotel that was on the corner of Ocean and Pochick.
Yeah.
Until the 60s.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy scale.
And it's like collapsed or something like that. So anyways. All right. Good to see you all.
Take care.
Thanks.
All right. So Brooke is not here. He does have 2 applications, the 10 Hydrangea new dwelling and pool. I'm happy to open them up so you guys can review it. I'm also happy to put it on next week. You guys tell me what to do, and we'll do that.
Is I trust we're still so backed up with the HTC that we would end up seeing it before HTC if we waited until next week.
Most certainly.
Okay.
That might be a good idea.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
And Kadim, can I just try one thing here? I just want to see if I can share my screen.
Absolutely, that'd be great. Go for it.
Oh, not going to work.
Okay.
Never mind.
All right. Well, we did try, so now we'll have to try to figure out what we can do to make this work. So if someone else can drive or whatever, So we will. I'll discuss this with Holly, and we'll go from there. But if you guys
Yeah.
want to do your usual adjournment and all that and approval of
Yes.
comments, I will try to get those minutes together, one of these days.
Okay, and Kadeem, I've been taking some notes, so I will send our
Oh.
comment to you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And there being no other business at the moment, I think I'll send out the comments for approval later today.
Great.
And with that, I guess I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you very
Second.
much. Motion made, seconded. All those in favor? The ayes have it.
Aye.
Kadeem, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you
we'll-
guys.
We'll get
Thanks,
this-
Kadeem.
Of course, have an excellent rest of the week.
Take care.
Thanks, Angus.
Bye.
Angus, do you have to go into another meeting, Angus?
He does.
Historic structures, yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I've got 20 some odd minutes.
There you
Hey,
go.
how was your trip?
Awesome.
I'm going to end so that we don't record on it, okay? But thank you
Okay, all right,
very
fine.
much. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.